I want to bring in New York Attorney General Letitia James. Attorney General James, good to see you. Thank you for being with us. You know, you and I were in correspondence over Twitter last summer because I was covering some of those things, and I witnessed some of that action. It did seem heavy-handed. Tell me what you learned through your gathering of information that led to this lawsuit.
This lawsuit seeks to end a long-standing practice of NYPD of excessive force and false arrest of New Yorkers during largely peaceful protest. And we had a hearing over 3 days where 100 individuals came forward. And what we uncovered were 30 incidents involving the use of pepper spray, 50 incidents in which police officers used batons against protesters, 75 incidents in which protesters were punched or shoved. And these tactics came after the first wave of protests in the aftermath of the death of George Floyd. It's also important to know that essential workers who were exempted from the curfew that was issued by the mayor of the city of New York were also arrested. Medics were arrested, legal observers were arrested, a significant number of individuals were arrested in violation of the mayor's executive order, and there were a number of terrible assaults. And this is just one. These protests obviously have a historic significance. Unfortunately, the police officers' failure to respond to large-scale protests goes back to the protests relating to the war, protests relating to Occupy Wall Street, protests relating, obviously, to all that is happening in our country. And it's unfortunate that there were individuals, including the mayor of the city of New York and the leadership of NYPD, which basically condoned this, and for the most part indicated that these protests were largely peaceful.
There are different ways to reform police departments. Some of them are internal, some of them are with oversight, some of them are with the federal government. What does your lawsuit seek to do? What change are you seeking?
Well, it's important to know that the Department of Investigation, as well as Corporation Counsel, the attorney for the city of New York, documented these abuses in reports, and they put forth some recommendations. However, we believe that it's important that there be a monitor appointed by the court to oversee these changes and these reforms. And in addition to that, that this conduct of the NYPD be declared unlawful. That is what is really critically important going forward. I've had discussions with the leadership of NYPD as well as with the mayor of the city of New York, and we disagree with regards to the appointment of a monitor. But I think it's fundamentally important that these reforms be in place and that the conduct of NYPD be declared unlawful.
So Deputy Police Commissioner John Miller responded specifically to that, and he said that the lawsuit does not show a pattern and practice, his words, required by federal law for a monitor to be appointed. What's your response to his response?
I fundamentally disagree. We've got authority under Parents Patriot, and it's really critically important that we've laid out, again, through the 3 days of testimony of 100 individuals, 300 other individuals submitted written testimony. We received over 1,300 complaints, and more complaints are coming in from individuals, again, detailing the abuse of NYPD over this period of time where individuals largely engaged in peaceful protests. It lays out a pattern and practice, and it includes conduct such as kettling, where they're contained individuals, and then they decided to engage in this mass arrest of individuals. The unlawful use of tear gas, again, the use of batons, and again, assaults on individuals who were exempt from the curfew. Our complaint lays them out in detail, and it establishes a pattern and practice. And so I fundamentally disagree with the findings of Mr. Miller.
What happens next? If you disagree with Deputy Commissioner Miller and the police department of the city on this, what happens next? Does a judge adjudicate this?
A judge will adjudicate this. They will respond accordingly. I don't know what their strategy is, but nonetheless, we have filed their petition and we await their response, and we are prepared to defend it in court, as well as we have sufficient number of witnesses who are prepared to come into court to detail their injuries, including concussions, including cuts to their bodies, individuals who were subjected to excessive force by the police department, police officers who used their bicycles, who used their batons, who used excessive force, who used, unfortunately, pepper spray, all of that and more. again, in response to individuals who are protesting the racial reckoning in this country. And I will defend individuals' right to peacefully protest in New York and beyond. Unfortunately, it's unacceptable that this behavior has gone unchecked for a very long time. And it's really critically important that a monitor be put in place so that we get the reforms right and we respect the fundamental right to protest.
Attorney General Letitia James of New York, thank you for joining me. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.